Hi everybody, it's Saturday, May 30th, 2026. I'm coming to you from New Hope, Pennsylvania. It's a river town. It's about 7 miles north of Washington's Crossing. We got the river right over here. I came out here in 2003, 23 years ago. Before that, 40 years teaching in New York City. So naturally, when I came here, I go to school board meetings and committee meetings, and I see the good, the bad, the ugly, and the bizarre. Today I'm going to talk about the bizarre. But before I get into it, I wanted to mention something. The school board comes out with something all the time, and it's the truth. We are one of the lowest places in terms of paying taxes in Bucks County, maybe even the state. That's true. But the question that they don't want to answer is this. Do we get bang for our buck, or do we get our bucks banged? In my opinion, we're getting our bucks banged. As low as it is, it can go even lower. All right? Now, before I continue, I want to give you a little poem. It's called an ode. All right? Let me read that. Mine eyes have seen the horror of a school board out of control, kowtowing to a superintendent who's arrogant and bold, spending on needless items, doing what they are told, as our taxes keep going up. Glory, glory, New Hope Soulbury. Glory, glory, no transparency. Glory, glory, no accountability. Are we headed for bankruptcy? Let's start with the phrase out of control, school board out of control. The first contract between Superintendent Dr. Charles Lentz and the district, around 2018, it stipulated that, among other things, that they will give him up to and including $7,500 for courses in colleges. Okay, now, that was the first 5 years. I don't know how much he spent, but at the most it would be $35,000, $37,000. Now, the next part, the contract that he's under now, let's play a game. You ever see the show, The Price is Right? Okay. Well, and I'm going to connect it to what's going on here. In the show, the host tells 7 or 8 people, come on down. And he shows them a product. And he says, how much do you think that product cost? And the person who gets as close to that product as possible without going over moves on to the next round, win big prizes. All right, well, I can tell you this. In Charles Lentz's second contract, it was more than $7,500. And I want to give you each 5 seconds. Come up with a number, 10,000, 20,000. Let's see how much you think is in his second contract. 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005. Good. I could tell you this, and I don't know some of you, or I don't know you that well. I bet nobody went over the maximum. Okay? Well, how could that possibly be? How could that possibly be? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to read part of the contract that goes with that. Let's see. It's page 6 of 14. That's the contract, and it's at the bottom. Quote, the district shall pay the full cost of continuing education courses, professional courses, and tuition for all graduate courses, including online courses taken by the superintendent at an accredited institution. Therefore, there is no limit. The sky's the limit. How do you run a business? And education's a business without limits. There's no control, absolutely no control. And in line with that, and when you read the comments, I'm going to put some details down. In the last 2 years, Superintendent Lentz has taken courses at the University of Pennsylvania. And from what I understand, it's the Wharton School of Business. That's not rinky-dinky university. That's number 2 in the country behind Harvard, all right? And he did it on 5 separate occasions. And on each occasion, it cost the district, it cost you and me, $38,350 for a total, excuse me, of $191,750. Where is this going to end? All right. Now, the question is this. I was at a facilities meeting, a finance meeting, and I said to the person in charge, I said, listen, because we're talking about the budget, does Superintendent Lentz plan to take more courses? He said nothing. Well, why don't you say, listen, that's a good question, Mr. Bam. We'll speak to the superintendent. Said nothing. The superintendent was there. He said nothing. That's arrogance. And this has happened a multiple of times. I ask a question, silence. Do they have to answer me? No. Morally, they do. All right? Okay, finally, here's something very bizarre. In 2011, the school district had an enrollment of 1,592 kids. One superintendent. And with this superintendent and the 1,592 kids, we were rated number 3 in the state by the U.S. News and World Report. So time went by, and around 2020-21, the school board decided, you know what, we need another superintendent. And I'm saying, why? It shrunk to 1,350 kids. Why? Well, put your mind together. Think about this. If you have a second superintendent, the first superintendent, I would think his workload would be less. Less, sure. And while it's less, he doesn't have to put that much stress on himself, right, during the day. So I think that one thing had to do with the other. Now, if you speak to, oh no, I had nothing to do with the second superintendent. Yeah, well, show us the documentation where you got up Dr. Lentz and told him, no, we don't need another one. And that second superintendent, let me tell you, she is good. In fact, at a school board meeting, I got up and I said, Teapot, get rid of him. But you can't do that because you'd have to pay out the rest of his contract. She started at $187,000. She's up to $217,000. 4 years, you're close to 5 years. You're close to $1 million. We don't need that. This is what's going on, folks. All right, so you'll read the comments below. And by the way, the school board, they're going to get a copy of this video. And if they wish, they can put their comments down below. But they're not. You know why? Because they know once they speak and put their I'm going to come back at them. And I'm going to rebut what they have to say. And they don't believe in that. They don't want back and forth, which is the cornerstone of American democracy. So, to be continued. Thank you. And by the way, I put a right to know request in. I wanted to know, get a listing of all these courses. You know what it came back? The answer? Came back, no responsive records. What do you mean no responsive records? Did he or did he not take the courses? Did he or did he not have documentation? We don't have a record. Well, this is going further. That's all I can tell you, all right? But this is it. Arrogance fuels this district.